Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me today in this webinar on how to never have another allergic reaction to cats and dogs. That's right. So we're talking about pet allergies today, but we can mix together dust allergies and grass allergies, kind of respiratory allergies basically is what we're going to be addressing here today. I just kind of focused the title on cats and dogs mostly because every time I try to give away a cat to people on the street or in the store, I always keep hearing, oh, I'm allergic to cats. Oh, my dad's allergic to cats. And, this type of fatalistic view, like, oh, I'm just have pain as part of getting old. Oh, I urinated at night, but a lot of women urinate at night. Oh, I have a lot of PMS issues because that's normal. Oh, I'm allergic to cats. Oh, I just really rubs me the wrong way when people just accept health problems. And, as a matter of fact, I had a client today and she just thought, oh, I can't digest this. I can't digest that. So I showed her one of my testimonials recently of a woman that thought she was celiac and couldn't digest wheat for the rest of her life. 1 month later, she's eating bread. And, 25 years, she thought she was celiac. And I have her testimonial, saying how shocked she was because they diagnosed her as this. So just because you're diagnosed with having an allergy doesn't mean that you're cursed with this forever. It means that you may have to work on it. You may have to, make some changes to your diet and maybe buy a few air filters for the room and things like that, and take a few herbs, of course, but it does not mean that you are destined for the rest of your life to never pet a cat. Okay? So let's talk about why we get allergies. And two, we're going to talk about things that we do that can make respiratory allergies worse, that we may not be aware of, things that overstimulate our immune system, for example. And then third, of course, we talk about these herbal remedies that really work well. In fact, just today, since I have like over 15 cats, one of my cats, one of my favorite cats, which his name is Favorite Cat, because they have so many cats. I got favorite number 1, number 2, number 3, and then some like Pooper. I just name them like that by their actions. But Dummy Cat, Mama Cat, who gave birth to all the other cats, Big Daddy Cat. But anyway, so I had Favorite Cat on my lap, meowing and rubbing his face and rubbing his face in my face, and his tail was over here, and I was trying to get something done, and then I rubbed my eyes. The next thing you know, I got this itchy eyes. So I couldn't believe it. Here is the day I'm going to do my own webinar on allergies, and now I got itchy, runny eyes from the cat. So I went and had my tea. There's the empty cup sitting right here still from early in the day. There's the herbs left over in the cup. No, folks, you don't need a tea ball. I never use a tea ball. Now, I really dumped in the herbs because I got a lot. I probably put in more than most people would use. It's a very sweet, soothing tea. That's my allergy tea. We're going to talk about some of those ingredients later. Some you'll be able to pick up on your own, make your own allergy tea. It's not difficult. But I tell you, it worked like a champ. That was in the morning, and I had a client coming up. I drank the tea, gone. And I didn't even drink the whole tea. I drank like a half. I just drank the rest later, but worked fantastic. Of course, I have to keep that little fuzzball out of my face. But so what are the causes of respiratory allergy? Or let's just say what can make it worse. Let's just talk about your respiratory system in general first. Things the respiratory system does not like. 1, cold. Anything cold. Cold air, cold ice cream. I don't know how many people had respiratory problems, mucus, congestion. Oh, I'm allergic to everything. I'm allergic to dust. I'm allergic to grass. I'm allergic to pets. Eating ice cream every single night. Take away the ice cream. Oh, it got better. No more mucus. That's right. Because cold, coagulates your phlegm, your circulation, your blood, and even internally it affects your organs, your digestion. Is probably nothing worse you could take besides some sugary cold ice cream to really wreak havoc in your respiratory system and your digestive system, and and even to some degree your circulation. It's just a really not good habit. And of course, having ice water, another big problem. I've treated a few people for respiratory problems just by changing their diet, and they went away. And then have more warm foods. You have to remember that's the first rule. Nothing cold, because the respiratory system, needs to be warm. It needs to be wet. It doesn't like cold and dry, like air conditioners. They're cold and dry. So if you sit next to an air conditioner vent, next thing you know, you got a runny nose, you got some nasal drip, and then that can lead, of course, to a cold. The mucus can accumulate, and you can get an infection. So you don't want cold foods, cold drinks like coconut water is cold. I mean, if it's stinking hot and you're outside drinking coconut water, is fine. But if you're indoors in air-conditioned room drinking cooling drinks like coconut water, or particularly ice water, cold drinks, ice cream, forget it. Chop them out of your life. They're not good for your whole health. And it's just you're seeing the effects in your respiratory system. It's becoming, adversely affected. And, of course, this is according to Ayurveda. We're not going to buy a bunch of research and scientists and antihistamines and histamine blockers and steroids. No, we're not going there. We're just talking reality. That's why I always say this is not about more research. Everybody online is just referring to research. I'm just going to refer to how I'm treating respiratory conditions according to my knowledge as an Ayurveda doctor and herbalist. That's it. Just giving you the facts. And I got some testimonials here. But the next thing that you should avoid is dry things, particularly if you have a dry cough. A lot of people aren't getting enough liquid. A lot of people aren't getting enough oil. Their skin becomes dry. Their colon becomes dry. Their lips become dry. And, the lungs don't like to be dry. No organ in the body needs to be dry. Our mouth should be always a little wet, not dry. Once your mouth is dry, then you're really dry to a bone. And you don't want your bones dry. You're going to become brittle. You don't want your hair dry. It's going to break. You don't want your skin dry. It's going to crack and get hard. You don't want anything dry. You don't want your gallbladder dry. If you get gallstones, colon dry, you get golf balls. So dry is also a problem, particularly it depends on the type of respiratory condition. If you have dry mucus, then dry breathing, difficulty breathing, then there's a certain dryness to it without the mucus. Then you want to take soothing, warm substances. And we'll talk about those. What else could be a problem? Well, even mold can be a problem in your house. A lot of times when I'm investigating these allergies, I quiz people on when they get the allergy. Do they get it like at home? Do they get it when they go to the golf course? When they get it on grass? Or they get it? So some people give me the clue, like, I only get it when I'm home. Well, that's a sign. And you have no cats, no pets, but you're sneezing at home. Yeah, then it's probably your own air, your air filters. I change my air filters in my air conditioner once a month, even though they say you can do it once every 3 months. But hey, every time I take it off, it's dirty and it's got little hairs in it. And the more I run it, the cleaner the air is. So another thing you can do is air filters in your bedroom. Just keep the air clean. Keep changing the filters in your air conditioner system. Put air filter in your room. Filtering out the air makes a big difference. And if the air's dry, add a humidifier. Because remember, a humidifier is going to make it warmer, and moist, exactly what the lungs need. I remember when I was young, my mother used to put a humidifier in my room because I had allergies when I was young. And I still have old humidifiers. Maybe they're left over from 40 years ago from my mother. I don't know. I've been carrying them with me house to house because I need a humidifier sometimes. I don't use it as much as I used to. But even children, they're having breathing problems at night. Heater makes the room too dry. Air conditioners are even worse, make it dry and cold. A humidifier adds moisture to the air. Air filter cleans the air, particularly if you have a young child with respiratory allergies. You should do both of these, put the humidifier and the air filter in the room and change the air filters in the house on a regular basis, and never give a child cold foods, particularly ice cream. Other things that can create more respiratory issues is yogurt, and cold yogurt at night is worse than maybe even ice cream. But yogurt is congested, particularly if you've got a lot of mucus and phlegm. Then the yogurt and milk, particularly cold again, is an issue. So generally, dairy, except for ghee will not make your respiratory condition worse, but because it's taken out the animal fat in the ghee. So, but most dairy goes. Like when I'm treating people professionally, I just want it gone. It's like, you go to the car mechanic and you got a problem with your air filter, you just want, or your intake valve, you just want to fix it. So, and then later we can figure out what maybe the person was doing to cause it. So I try to eliminate all the causes because, I'm getting paid. I want the job done. I want this respiratory condition over with so the person can be happy and be happy about their payment and give me a testimonial. So I get rid of all cold foods, all dry foods, all dairy but ghee, and tell them to always put air filter in the room and no yogurt, particularly at night. A little bit with some food where it's warm is going to get you, but these people are eating big bowls of yogurt. That's not a good sign. And cold ice water, another problem. So I get rid of all that. More warm foods, more spice, more honey. Now, there's another thing that can lead to respiratory problems if we look at the other side of the coin, and that is things that overstimulate your immune system. That's right. Because, of course, if we look at science, it's the old antihistamines are responding there and overreacting. It's basically an overactive immune system. In Ayurveda, it's a pitta prakriti. It's the transformational qualities of pitta, which are part of your immune response. Your immune system's over-responding. A lot of people like myself who have allergies, I can have skin allergies, a little itchy. I can get itchy eyes from the cats. I've had allergies really my whole life. So I've really learned how to, avoid them and treat them with herbs. But also, I never get sick or the cold or the flu because my immune system is kind of overactive than underactive. So I have to modulate my immune system. And many things overstimulate immune system. A lot of mushrooms people are taking nowadays are overstimulating. Now, some mushrooms like reishi can be like almost immune modulators, which is one reason I like reishi. But because it can modulate the immune system, means it keeps it from going too high. And honey is also very, very good for respiratory conditions. Particularly, you can just be taking honey out of a spoon throughout the day. And if you have mucus, you can mix a tablespoon with honey with a half a teaspoon of very finely ground black pepper, mix it all together and take it. That black pepper just cleans out the whole system. That heat, remember, you want the heat. That's why we do a hot shower, hot steam, hot ginger. But ginger honey tea, nice, because you got the heat from the ginger. You got the honey, which is kind of an immune modulator. I mean, it can boost the immune system, but not too much. But some mushrooms, particularly people are taking too many mushrooms, are ending up with autoimmune conditions and more allergies. And sometimes they're just eating foods they shouldn't be eating. Ayurveda has a very different view on allergies. They don't really do allergy tests. We just diagnose the person by their prakriti, their body type, Vata Pitta Kapha, or a combination. And then we say, okay, these foods are the best for you and avoid these foods. And often the ones that I'm telling the person to avoid are the ones they're complaining about that are creating this allergy, even food allergies. But I'm saying, well, you shouldn't be eating those anyway. I could have told that to your mother the day you were born to not eat these foods because it's against your keeping balance in your prakriti. Like I had a patient today. She's overweight, heavy, and congested, and respiratory problems. And she clearly said that yogurt and cheese and milk created. I said, well, that's perfect. You're kapha prakriti. You shouldn't be having yogurt, cheese, and milk anyway. And sometimes they say, yeah, that's what my mother told me. But I love yogurt, cheese, and milk, and now you're overweight. Now you have respiratory mucus. So, some people can be more susceptible. We didn't say yogurt, cheese, and milk are all bad. If you're a skinny person and you're weak and underweight and frail and you want a little more shape to your body, sometimes the young girls say, hey, what can I do to get a little more shape to my body? I say, eat cheese. And if you're thin, you got degenerative bones, have milk. And, so there's a time and place for these. All foods have both beneficial qualities, and they also have qualities that would not be suitable for other people. So there's no one food that's perfect. So a lot of times I'll get rid of most of the allergic foods just by their body type. Just swoop, take care of a lot of problems right there because people are trying all types of food. So you really should always follow, a diet based on what's most suitable for you, and not one of these online diets or FODMAP diet, paleo diet, all these general diets. They could be creating problems. So, before I get into more here, another cause of allergy. This is a very good point, and I would really write it down, and this is how I treat people, is the liver. We know that the liver is helping to manage the immune system. I mean, the thyroid, the thymus gland producing these T cells, and that's a big part of the immunity as well. But the liver, whenever there's serious allergies and they don't get good response from the first treatment, as per Ayurveda, as per my teachers, not research, I just give herbs for the liver. But a lot of times people have the liver issues that are already evident. They already have, elevated enzymes, high bilirubin, high STI, ALT. So when I see that there's already a liver condition, which could just be high cholesterol, any liver condition that they've got, and they've got allergies at the same time, 100%, I'm going to give you allergy herbs, digestive herbs, and liver herbs, because there's also a big point of digestion. That's why Ayurveda eliminates certain foods, because we know certain types of body types just can't digest certain foods. It's just the way you are. It's just like some cars, some cars use petrol and some cars use diesel, and you better not mix them up. And humans really are the same too. We have a diet that will work good for us, and other foods just will not be easily digested. And this undigested food then creates a kind of toxin, ama in Ayurveda, and this toxins will stimulate your immune system to respond, and then you can get the allergic reaction from poor digestion, your own poor digestion. And of course, we know many things cause poor digestion: just snacking on nuts, eating late at night, trying to graze, eating when you're not hungry, overeating, eating the wrong foods, eating foods you can't digest, etc., etc. So people are creating these digestive problems. Then maybe they've been some party drinkers for a while, either with drugs, pharmaceutical drugs, recreational drugs, all damaging your liver, or just living next to a highway where you're getting a lot of pollution in the air, affecting your lungs and your liver. And now you have this respiratory problem. So if there's any sign at all of liver issues, I'm always giving out the liver herbs. So that's why a lot of people can't treat themselves, I have to admit, because they're not thinking holistic, and, they're not trained at all. Most of these people online, like I said, they're just researching other people. They're not, didn't go to study for 20 years Ayurveda. And so they're really just going by research, and everybody's kind of rereading everybody else's research. So, and they're not treating holistically. So people sometimes try my allergy products, they buy them, and they say, yeah, it works, but I have to keep taking it. Well, that's because they didn't treat the liver, they didn't treat the digestion, and they didn't change the diet. So now they're going to be like dependent on taking the herbs, which will work, but until you change the diet, change your habits, strengthen your digestion, and a lot of times treat the liver, you won't get lasting results. So that is a very good point. Now, we're not going to go into how to treat the liver in this, but I have given many webinars on treating the liver, and I have a lot of herbal products, many herbal products for treating the liver, because you can have different problems with the liver. You can have fatty liver, high cholesterol. You can have cirrhosis of the liver. You can have hepatitis of the liver. You can have alcoholic liver. I mean, there's all kinds of liver problems. And so we have different herbs and different formulas for all these problems. I'm not going to go into that, but let's just take a look at these respiratory related testimonials here on my website, Khabir's Clinic. I really like what I said here. I just read it, and I probably wrote this more than 10 years ago, but I like it. The respiratory system is our source of oxygen, which basically is our life force. We call prana. So even minor respiratory blockages indicated by symptoms such as snoring. That's right. Snoring is a sign of early sign of poor respiratory issues, poor breathing, dry or wet cough, and of course you snore now, then you can't breathe later, and then later you're on a CPAP machine, so I get people off the CPAP machine all the time. Occasional or chronic difficulty breathing, nasal congestion, etc., are all reducing our energy levels. See, because you're dependent on this oxygen for our energies, and when you're snoring and at night, can't breathe in the day, going up steps, can't breathe well, you're going to be tired. If ignored, more serious respiratory conditions such as asthma, bronchitis, respiratory allergies, chronic coughing, and even respiratory infections can result. The good news is that with minor changes in the diet, which is not really major in this case, and the correct herbal preparations, these conditions can be quickly managed and even reversed. So let's take a look here. We do have a smoker's tea and a smoker's blend for people, but that's not what we're talking about. Cough, soften, no pain in my chest. Okay, she's saying here her condition was getting worse over the years. She tried plenty of things. She also had arthritis and severe cough with non-stop cause. And so I gave her some tea. She calls it some special tea, which I was sipping directly while continuing with a consultation. So I gave it in the appointment, and she felt better right then in the appointment. After taking the teas for 6 days, she feels better and she's sleeping better. Okay. Lung congestion is treated with Khabir's amazing teas. We're going to talk about those. Nasal allergies almost gone. People talk about how long they've had it. I've been suffering with swelling in her body and severe allergies for years, and she lost hope in resolving these. And top that off, her sinus was getting worse due to the cold weather. Yeah, cold will make it worse. And then she says the herbal products I recommended started working since day one. Swelling's gone. Allergies are almost gone. I highly recommend. See, so I'm just knocking them out here. People are all surprised too. I felt a difference within the first couple of weeks. I haven't had to use my inhaler. That's right. I'm getting people off inhalers all the time too. You don't want to be on these inhalers. I had a client recently, and I wanted to try to get her off the inhaler, and she didn't want to get off the inhaler. So we treated her other issues. I think she has cancer and some pretty serious issues. So of course she wanted to focus there. And then we resolved that. We shrunk the tumor down, lost weight. I can't forget all the other things we treated. And then she came back and she had this hoarse throat, like, oh, I can't speak. I got a hoarse throat. I go, what's going on? And she said she didn't know. So she went into the doctor, and the doctor said it was her inhaler has now damaged her throat and esophagus. It's paralyzed it, apparently. And he had to have her stop. So now she does the appointment a couple years later where I gave her my inhaler, which I'll show you. So I get people off this inhaler all the time. They're not, people just think they're quick and easy until 2 years later, and now you can't talk because it's paralyzed your esophagus. Eliminated the nasal drip. Okay, here's some good ones here. I was on several allergy medications for years, and now I'm able to get off all of them. 2019, you can see I've been doing this a while. After trying various allergy medications for 45 years, his allergies are gone. Okay, he talks about he found me on Facebook. Well, glad somebody found me there. And after 5 weeks of the diets and herbs, he was 99% gone. So it took 5 weeks. 2 years later, it has not returned. See, that's an important thing. You reversing the condition. Allergies were out of control, and it's completely cleared. I think this is the mother talking about her son, I believe. And drinking tea to relieve the congestion. Okay, respiratory inflammation. Lung formula is magic. Okay, somebody just saying, follow what I say. Thank you very much. This person, a week later, I came off my allergy medication. That's a good one. 2017. I got more down here, but I think you got the point. There's a lot of, you have to get in here and read these. But she was on 3 different allergy medications and a steroid and was still having allergic reactions every few hours. So don't think that just taking the allergy medicine means you've got rid of it. And reaction every few hours when the antihistamines would start to wear off. Doctor told me I'd have to start wearing a mask outside. So she visited me. I gave her some herbs, told her to put honey in it. And then within a day, I felt considerably better. And a week later, I came off all the allergy medications. So there's the proof in the pudding. No need to just sit there and talk about research. Lifelong breathing problems, asthma is very effective. So this is another one. Back in 2005, so we got the proof here that these treatments work. So you got to change the diet. Got to consider treating the liver. If you've got liver enzymes high, then you just go watch one of my webinars on liver, or just do an appointment with me. Obviously, is the easiest. And treat the liver. So let's move on to some of these wonderful formulas that I'm using, and some of which maybe you can, reproduce, I guess, or try some of these herbs. Now, most of my formulas, I've been giving them out for decades, so I've changed them, and some I discontinued because they didn't work, and some I revamped and completely changed the formula more than once to get it working, like my depression tea, which I call happy tea. I changed it like 3 times before I'm finally happy with it. But this allergy tea, I think I've only added to it a little bit. But let's take a look at it here, because this is probably the easiest. Sometimes people, they have multiple health problems, arthritis, diabetes, high blood pressure, kidney failure, and then there's allergies, like, oh, I'm sneezing. So it's really not the top priority. So I generally just throw them this allergy tea if it's not their main issue. If it's the main issue, like I said, I'll treat the liver. I'll give them formulas and the tea. I'll throw like 3 things at it, and I have to improve the digestion. But if it's a side issue, then I use the allergy tea. Let's take a look here. See, it says works well for seasonal and pet allergies. It says right there, there's no need to suffer. No need to suffer, folks. Don't live with these problems. And let's look at these herbs here. Nettle. Nettle by itself, I don't think is going to do much. But if that's all you got, try it. If you get online, people are putting nettle in allergy teas all the time. But to me, it's just the base. I call it allergy tea. For sneezing, runny nose, these teas are light. They don't work as well as the they're not as effective and long lasting as the Ayurvedic formula, because they're a tea. They just kind of rush in the body. But like I said, I drank this tea this morning, half a cup, and my itchy eyes went away right away. But I would say the 2 real key ingredients are more the calendula and the red clover. The stevia, the fennel, and the lavender are more just kind of backup. Fennel has got that soothing, sweet quality that we want, and the tea's got a little bitter, so we threw in a little stevia just for taste. And lemongrass, also very well known to help with modulating the immune system, toning it down. But the combination of the formulas, the calendula, the red clover, the lemongrass, based in bunch of nettle, really is a winner. I don't think I've changed that tea for decades. You can see it. It's a good looking tea. Tastes good. It's kind of sweet, very smooth. And we got some testimonials down here right there on the website. We got a bunch of testimonials too. So there's a whole bunch here. Best stuff ever. And excellent product for sinitis issues. So we got some testimonials right on the website, Herb Man Teas, where you can go buy it right there online. It's not on sale right now, but there it is. Now, if there's mucus and phlegm, then I throw out this one. Sometimes I usually mix them together. This one is lung decongestant tea. It's not so much for the allergies. It's more for mucus and wet cough, but I'll use it. There you've got these heating herbs again, ginger, black pepper, or eucalyptus that just kind of break up the mucus. And of course, El Champagne root, famous for fighting infection, clearing mucus, colt's foot for coughing. Comfrey root's got that soothing quality to it. Marshmallow, also demulcent, soothing quality. Mullein, probably the best herb for your lungs. And then licorice root, kind of also soothing. You could just have licorice ginger tea, and I've had people get good results. But if you can start putting in key herbs like El Champagne and mullein, you're going to have even better results. Formulas always will work better than single herbs because they're like a team working together. Like the black pepper's got the heat. The eucalyptus breaks up the mucus. Ginger's also for the heat. This will even help your digestion. It's so warming. Colt foot, marshmallow, and comfrey are all soothing. And El Champagne is the real powerhouse, the king of the formula. Great formula. I'm sure we got more testimonials down there. Yep. See, there's all those testimonials on Herb Teas. You can read those too. Oh, here we got somebody right here. My sinus congestion with just a few adjustments in this amazing tea, I already have relief within a few days, which instantly relieves my congestion. Oh yeah, these products work. I mean, people doubt. You're doubting. You have no faith. You have no knowledge. Okay, cough tea. This is for dry cough, not necessary allergies. But look, mullein is first, and then colt's foot, and then these demulcent marshmallow, slippery elm, and licorice. This is for the smoker's cough, dry, irritant cough. I'm really just, it works really well, like a smoker's cough. I'm sure there's more testimonials on there. Not so much for an allergy. The first one, really, the allergy tea is the main one. But now let's look at the Ayurveda formulas because they're really much more powerful. And like I said, if you come to me and you say I have a respiratory issue, first I'm going to determine if you have a lot of mucus or you have one without much mucus. That's very important to me because if you have a lot of mucus, I may throw in that lung tea. I may mix the lung tea with the allergy tea. And if you don't have the mucus, then I'm going to give you this respiratory formula without the mucus. And if you have a dry cough, then I may throw in that cough tea as well. See how I combine the tea and a formula together. Formulas being more powerful. So we got two Ayurvedic formulas. One, this is for breathing problems, non-productive or not much mucus, even dryness, difficult, painful breathing, dry cough, asthma, bronchitis. It talks all about it here. Talks about all the different herbs, talks about who it's for. But this thing is working great. Fantastic. This is probably what most of those testimonials are commenting about is the Ayurveda formula. It's capable of reversing the condition. The tea is really dealing with it more acute. Like say you're fine, but every time you go to the golf course, you get itchy eyes and you take the tea. Or like me, I'm fine all day until a cat gets in my face and then I have to have the tea. I used to have much worse allergies, but now I just get them a little bit and I just take the tea. But if they're chronic, you want to get the formula, either the one without much mucus or the one used for more mucus, which is more heating. It's more for congestion, excess mucus, chronic snoring, mucus with a cold, asthma or bronchitis with a cough. So it describes right here who's it for, how to use it. And of course, about these are traditional Ayurvedic formulas. This one has Talasadi Churna, and the other one is based on Saraswati Churna. So these are respiratory. Oh, not Saraswati Churna. I'm bad. Stipulati Churna, and other herbs that I put in there, and basmas to make it more effective. So this is basically traditional formula. So you should really change the diet, get rid of all the cold, put in the air filters, have the tea, sip the tea during the day if you have allergies, and then start taking this respiratory tonic twice a day with some honey. It doesn't taste bad. All lung. There's no point to buy them in capsules because all these lung products, they actually feel good. They're not tasting terrible. Now, here's the bronchial dilator right there. That's what I've been using to get rid of the inhaler. And it's some of the same herbs, but the main ingredient is Vasaka. I need to put a little more information up there about that. And Vasaka is the bronchial dilator. And you can see the Vasaka is in the other formulas as well. See, Vasaka, it's in there, but it's in greater degree. Here it's, I think, the number one ingredient, along with Tulsi, Pipali, black pepper, ginger, and cinnamon. So you got these heating herbs to heat up. And Tulsi is also an adaptogen immune modulator, and it's in there for the respiratory system. And we have an immune tea also based on Tulsi. So all of these, you have to just pick the combination, the right tea, the right diet, and the right Ayurveda product, and possibly some liver herbs. You can see these are all of the respiratory products that I have up here. I didn't cover the ones for respiratory infections, but those are also up there. And, I have other products as well that I don't even sell online. So if you had like autoimmune conditions plus allergies, and I want to modulate the whole immune system, of course, Ayurveda has a product, some immune modulating tabs right there, used for all autoimmune conditions. But we don't sell them online because we import these products. We don't make them, and we want to keep them for our patients. But these do help with a whole wide range of issues, but including hair loss and anti-aging. And I take them. This is not my package, but I have one, and I do leave it on my desk, and I do pop those in, and that really helps to keep my allergies under control. It's just kind of like toning down the immune system. And again, you have to be careful about not taking too many things that overstimulate your immune system. Like these days, I've been catching people with a lot of allergies and autoimmune conditions, just over-consuming mushrooms, getting back to me, telling me once they stopped the mushrooms, their whole itchy skin problem went away. It's a fungi, and, you're consuming it, and now you're getting this rash and immune system. This, maybe your immune condition, Sjogren's, or other autoimmune conditions all acting up, and you don't know why it's acting up, and you realize it's because you were on social media buying mushrooms, and now it's aggravated your condition because the person talking about it had no idea what they were talking about. So even though they're powerful, you have to be very careful with things overstimulating your immune system. I mean, even a lot of supplements can overstimulate your immune system. I have to go through people's supplements and sometimes take out things that I'm thinking, oh my God, this is not gonna, this is gonna be counterindicated here. This is not gonna help your condition, and you're over consuming it. And I have other problems. I didn't bring it up here. I have another product called a natural antihistamine. And again, we don't sell it online, but I will tell you that in Ayurveda, we don't use turmeric for pain. Now, that's a Western concept because somebody did some research. They found out it's anti-inflammatory, and, oh my God, then everybody was doing turmeric capsules. Now, of course, that's over. We're on to mushrooms now. We went past goji berries, manuka honey, and orange mushrooms, and intermediate fasting. Now, I'm a fad monitor because, it's my business. So all the clients are all doing the same thing at the same time, watching the same social media. But there was a time where turmeric was the big fad. But Ayurveda, we don't use it for pain. You can see I'm treating pain, arthritis. I never use turmeric. And what do we use it for? It's antihistamine. We use it for allergies. So you look at the allergy formulas like Harida Khan. Harida means a turmeric. And Harida Khan is a formula used for respiratory allergies And yeah, we have a respiratory allergy formula. I didn't even bring it up. Those were two I had. And we got other formulas I didn't even bring up. Um, and that's where we use the hadidakan, and also uses for skin allergies. Hadidakan. It's basically turmeric and other herbs. But a little secret I will tell you, since you're here watching this webinar, is curcumin. Of course, it's an extract of turmeric, and 95%. There's everybody's selling 95%. Everybody says theirs is the best, but there's only a couple factories in the United States making it. And they used to have 60% extract, but now everybody's got 95% of turmeric. So curcumin, so as long as it came from organic Indian turmeric, because you can get herbs from different countries, can be very different. Just because you got the herb doesn't mean you got it from the right country, and it's not fresh. That's why people try to sometimes buy their own herbs and it doesn't work. I had one man who begged me for the formula. I gave him the formula. He went and bought all the herbs on Etsy, begged me for the percentages. I gave it to him. I wouldn't say beg, but he didn't have much money. So okay, what the heck? But it didn't work. Even though he got all the herbs on Etsy or something, eBay online, it just didn't work. So the quality of the herbs wasn't good. We don't even know if they're legit or not. Nobody's testing them for heavy metals. We don't know what's going on. So I just had to insist that he go back to taking my herbs, because he wasn't getting the results when he just started purchasing the herbs on his own. It's because the people there don't understand, as like an herbalist, where you get it is important. The Indian turmeric is the best, and then organic, and then the curcumin. The curcumin really works well as an antihistamine. And this is this formula that I have. It's yellow, and it's got curcumin in it, turmeric, haridakan, and we use it as a natural antihistamine. Again, I just don't sell it online, but I do welcome you to go to hermanteas.com, and you can look for all of those products that we covered today, and you can use the discount code webinar10 off for 10% off your order. And you do want to get on the mailing list, because we do have occasional sales during the holiday periods. So I hope this gives you a hope that you can pet little cats someday in the future. You can go golfing someday in the future. You don't have to sneeze and have you can overcome that. But you have to treat it. You have to be proactive, and you have to realize that herbs are the medicine provided by our Creator. According to Ayurveda, all plants have a value, either as food or medicine. And we know most of the foods because we've tasted them, and we've, bred them, so to speak, so they're more sweet. And we know what plants are tasty around the world, but we still haven't found out the health benefits of all the billions of plants. So this has been provided to us to treat ourselves. And once you realize that there's herbal remedies for everything, there's nothing you can't treat. I've clearly gotten to that point in my life, because I've treated everything, that you definitely can treat everything. If you have a good patient. If you don't have a good patient who doesn't change the diet, doesn't get rid of the ice cream, doesn't stop the snacking on nuts and, things like that, or doesn't want to take the herbs, then, well, there's nothing we can do. You might as well just go back and keep popping your pill every day until the side effects catch up with you, and until you get more motivated to come do an appointment. Okay. So I hope that inspired you to improve your allergies and not think that you're going to be there forever. And they're very treatable. You saw my testimonials. You're welcome to go get the products online, but I always recommend it's better just do an appointment, because then I'm going to do it right the first time and give you the diet and determine and explain to you or investigate why you even have the allergies in the first place, and determine if I need to treat the liver or not, which is a really key question with anybody that comes to me with an allergy. And all those testimonials, I can't say without looking up their case how many of them I gave liver herbs. But, anybody that came to me for respiratory issues, I probably picked one of my many liver products and gave it to them to just be on the safe side. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you get over your allergies. I hope you can enjoy petting cats like I do, sleeping with cats, and going to the golf course and going out if you're in like get cedar fever like they do in the South, that stops bothering you and cedar comes out, or we can see the pollen just dropping from the trees sometimes of the year, and just even lying on, you can see it on top of the cars. It's so thick. And when you have these herbs, it's not going to bother you. And I do have to take some of these for little short periods of the year to get through the bad allergy season. I tend to take my allergy tea, once in a while, like 1 cup a day if my allergies are bad. But it just goes away. And then the rest of the year, I'm fine. And I think every year I'm having less and less reactions. So you will reverse it over time if you stick with it and you understand why you're getting the allergies. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I hope I inspired you. I hope helped you. I hope I educated you. And I wish you all the best of health and happiness.